Hello. Today we have from the Sefer, Rav Zvi Kushalevsky on the Torah, from Parshas Truma, the portion of the Torah that called Truma. Rav Zvi talks about feeling the pain of others. Let's take a look at it right now. Feeling the pain of others. V'nosa Aharon es Shemos b'nei Yisrael b'choshen hamishpat al libo. Aharon will thus carry the names of the children of Israel on the choshen over his heart. Shemos 28:29. So the choshen is the breastplate, part of the begadim, the clothing that the Kohen Gadol would wear, the high priest. Aaron was the high priest, of course. So anyway, he wore the breastplate over his heart. The fact that the Choshen breastplate was worn over Aaron's heart is no coincidence. There is a deep connection between what the heart represents and the Choshen. The Gemara tells us, Shabbos 139a, that in the merit of Aaron being truly happy in his heart that his brother Moshe was selected for the leadership, Aharon was deemed fit to be the Kohen Gadol. Aharon had a leiv tov, a good heart, and would thus wear the Choshen on his heart. So Aharon had a truly good heart, and he felt good for other people when they had success. So he would wear the breastplate, the Choshen, on his heart. This is in the Gemara Shabbos 139a, page 139, the first daf, the first part of the first page, the first part of the page. Aaron had a leiv tov, a good heart, and would thus wear the Choshen on his heart, over his heart. But there is a deeper connection between the heart and the Choshen. On the surface, they seem quite distinct. Choshen is the Choshen is used. The breastplate was used to receive answers from Hashem. When there was a question, so the Kohen Gadol would ask the question, and Hashem would answer through the Choshen, through the letters that lit up from the breastplate that he had on over his heart. What has this got to do with having a good heart? The Rambam explains, Shemos 28:30, that the Choshen transmitted answers from Hashem in the following manner. One moment. Here we go. So the Rambam explains, Shemos 28:30, that the Choshen transmitted answers from Hashem in the following manner. The relevant letters in the names of the tribes would light up. There were all the names of the tribes, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and all the 12 tribes. which constituted all of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph Beis. So, in other words, when there would be a she'ela, a question, the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, would ask Hashem, and Hashem would light up the letters. So, the Rambam explains Shemos 28:30 that the Choshen transmitted answers from Hashem in the following manner. The relevant letters in the names of the tribes would light up, and the Kohen Gadol would have to arrange them appropriately to understand the answer. Chazal tell us, Chazal means the acronym, the wise rabbis of the Talmud. Chazal tell us that Eli HaKohen mistook Chana for a drunkard because he misread the Choshen. Upon seeing her praying, when he saw her praying, he misread what it said on the Choshen. Excuse me. He thought the letters were to be read as Shikura, which means a drunkard, when in fact they were meant to be read as Koshera, a kosher, proper woman. So in other words, these are two words that are spelled with the same letters, but it was mistaken. Instead of Koshera, a kosher, proper woman, it was understood to be Shikura, a drunkard. For this reason, Chana replied to Eli, "You are not my master. Lo Adoni, you are not my master." As the Gra notes, she was declaring that Ruach HaKodesh had deserted him since he had rearranged the letters incorrectly. But the Ruach HaKodesh is that Hashem would help him to come to the right conclusion. So he has a Ruach HaKodesh. So since he rearranged the letters incorrectly, so Chana said that Eli is not her master, Lo Adoni. But there is a layer of hidden depth here. Chana and the word Adon here. Chana used the word Adon here because the concept of Adon is to see other qualities, is to see the other's qualities. In order to be an Adon, a person that has mastery over certain things, one has to see the qualities of the other person. You have to have a true concept of the other person's qualities. The Chovos HaLevavos writes that the accolade Adon is given to someone who can see other people as possessing a trait or quality that he doesn't have. So this is from Chovos HaLevavos, Duties of the Heart, Shar HaKaniyah, the gate of Kaniyah, of acquisition. So, in other words, one should see qualities that good qualities that the other person has. To cite the examples of the Chovos HaLevavos, if someone is wiser than me, I assume he fears Hashem more. I assume he fears heaven more. If I am wiser than him, I am more culpable for my actions. Because since I know more, I should know better than him. So therefore, if I know better, I am more culpable for my actions. While his sins are committed unintentionally. One is more culpable for one's action If one is wiser because he knows what has to really be done, and the other person, if he might do a sin, it's unintentionally, because he does not know. In other words, one is always giving the other person the benefit of the doubt. If I am older than him, perhaps I have committed more sins. And if he is older than me, perhaps he has performed more mitzvos than me. Since he has been around a longer time, he or she has been around a longer time, he or she has had the opportunity to perform more mitzvahs than I have. Or he has merited to be born first. People have a natural tendency or predisposition to favor themselves over others. This is how we were created. In order to see others' qualities, you must empathize with them, to the extent that you see part of yourself in them. Rav Zusha of Anapoli once heard two drunkards criticizing each other. "You don't care about me. You don't feel my pain," one said. "Where is your pain exactly?" the other replied. So the other answered him, "Where is your pain?" "You see, if you really felt for me, you'd know what hurts," the first rebutted. "If you really cared about me, you'd know why I don't feel well. What is my problem?" Rav Zusha commented that this is the extent to which we have to care about each other. So this is what we can take from this. This is the extent to which we have to care about each other. We must see others' pain as our own. And this is what Chana was communicating to Eli, the high priest. Had you truly put yourself in my position, or seen yourself in me, you would have understood the answer of the Choshen correctly. You are not expressing the true quality of an Adon. In short, the Choshen is connected with having a Leiv Tov, because in order to properly understand the answer of the Choshen, the Kohen Gadol needs to put himself in the position of the person posing the question to Hashem via the Choshen. He needs to care, empathize, and really have a Leiv Tov to evaluate the person and the situation correctly. In other words, one has to have a Leiv Tov, a good heart, to see the goodness, to see if one can put oneself to do such a thing, to see the goodness and to judge the person correctly. One has to have a Leiv Tov, a good heart. He needs to care, empathize, and really have a Leiv Tov to evaluate the person and the situation correctly. With his peerless Leiv Tov, Aharon was the perfect candidate for the job. Aharon, he had a peerless Leiv Tov. Nobody could compare to his good heart. So he was a perfect candidate for the job of the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. Well, we can do this to a lesser extent. Anyway, continuing on, the Azhrover Rebbe lost a son at a young age. One of his Hasidim asked the Rebbe why he did not use Ruach HaKodesh to prevent this tragedy. The Rebbe replied that Ruach HaKodesh is given in order to help others, not for one's own purposes. So in other words, the Ruach HaKodesh we have to help others with. We have to, not to make things better for ourselves. We have to help. The key is to help others with it. Since he had a Leiv Tov, Aharon was able to utilize the Ruach HaKodesh needed for the Choshen on behalf of others. Our task is to emulate this on our own levels by truly seeing the qualities that others possess, understanding their situations and challenges, and helping them accordingly. So this is what we can take from it. Our task is to emulate this on our own levels. Whichever level we are at, when we see a friend in distress, we have to try to see what's the matter and try to put ourselves in his shoes and help him or her out. Our task is to emulate this on our own levels by truly seeing the qualities that others possesses, understanding their situations and challenges, and helping them accordingly. So this is from the Sefer Rav Zvi Kushalevsky on the Torah, Parshas Tetzaveh. So one can get this. It's around. It's available. One can get this Sefer. And I sometimes say, when I bring a Devar Torah of Rav Zvi Kushalevsky, that he was in the yeshiva of Hadera in the 1970s, along with some other notable rabbis. This is a Rav Yaakov Galinsky, Zatzal, the memory of the righteous should be for a blessing. And then there was also, hopefully he's okay, there was Harav Binyamin Afrati. Oh, he should be well. Anyway, so these were there were more of the great Torah scholars